We give you the facts, it's not what you think. Popeye Newsling, Young King, 1 yard, bless.
Good morning, Popeye. Grandma watch Popeyes every morning and every night.
What am I think? What am I think? You're listening to Popeye News Links. This is the Admiral Tibet who I represent, and remember, the time is so serious, cantankerous and dangerous. This is Popeye News Links.
People of Center, St. Mary and surrounding.
Yeah, watch Popeyes, mama.
Here is
Where I watch?
Popeye.
are you an entertainer? If you are,
Greetings viewers and subscribers. Carry on. The Hawkeye security officer at the Beaches Negril main gate. Big up yourself. What you say? You're a baby father. You have to watch this channel every day. You boss man. Enough respect. Patrick Campbell, also known as Warlord. We met at the Strawberry Primary School in Westmoreland recently. Enough respect, sir. Thanks for the encouragement. First up, you remember that in yesterday's video, at the start, I showed you a video where a guy picked up a phone in a store. I also advised him to do the right thing and return the phone. Well, guess what? Biggs, he did the right thing, and the phone, it was left at the store earlier today. You, Mr. Sir, whose phone was stolen, it was left at the store, and we are told that they took it to the Barnett Street police station. So, here what you do. Go to the store and make them tell you who they left it with at the Barnett Street police station and go pick up your phone. Alright? In this video, I'm going to be telling you about the biggest scammer in Jamaica. But first, hit on the love button from now. Also, share the video. If you have not yet subscribed, remember to subscribe. Follow me now. Last week, Friday, I did a live stream and I told you about that scammer on your screen. His current name is Horace Omar Haughton. He was born on August 28, 1973. He is 52 years old and he's from the parish of St. James. Horace is a trained teacher and an IT specialist. Follow me now. In 1998, Horace, he was convicted for 4 counts of obtaining money by false pretense. He was given a road sentence and he was placed on probation. In 1999, Horace, he was charged for similar offenses and he was sent to prison. In prison, Horace, he mastered the art of scamming. He was released from prison in August 2002. In about April 2003, Horace, he paid for an advertisement in a Western Jamaica newspaper. That ad stated that persons were wanted to work at Horace's company, which he called Softcam. Hundreds of persons turned up because they were promised salary as high as 60,000 Jamaican dollars per month after statutory deductions. Remember now, this was 2003. Before they were guaranteed employment, each person had to pay the company over $3,500 towards the purchase of uniforms. These workers, they never ever receive any uniform. Their jobs included data entry, computer graphics, telemarketing, and the sale of insurance to the public. Horace, he credited 30 computers from a particular company in Montego Bay. The workers, they were paid by checks, but when the workers went to cash the checks, they were dishonored by the bank. We are also told that during that time, Horace, who is known to be a charmer, he got involved with several of the females who were working at his so-called company. On Tuesday, May 6, 2003, over 300 workers, they staged a demonstration outside the Softcam company's office on Church Street in Montego Bay. They demanded to be paid hundreds of thousands of dollars that they said were owed to them by Horace. The police, they got involved, and after an investigation, Horace, he was arrested and charged for several counts of obtaining money by false pretense. He went to court where he pleaded guilty and he was sent to prison again. Whilst in prison, Horace, he continued with his scamming activities. In fact, on January 23, 2008, Horace, he was back before the courts, and I want you to look on your screen. Remember I told you that prison did not reform Horace? That article is titled, Convicted Conman Asks Court to Help Kick Habit. Now, you can draw whatever conclusion you want to draw from this. Was Horace being sincere or being the conman he is? Was he trying to pull a fast one on the judge? The article reads, a convicted conman who is now facing 7 counts of fraudulently obtaining goods and services has asked for the intervention of the Montego Bay RM Court to assist him in kicking his habit. Horace Haughton of Catherine Hall in Montego Bay, St. James, told the court on Monday that there was no rehabilitation system in the Jamaican prisons to assist him. Horace told the judge, I have indicated to you that I have a serious problem. I was hoping that the court could assist me in terms of getting counseling. At that time, Horace's police record showed that he had a history of convictions for at least 44 similar offenses, and he was released from prison in August 2007. This was after he served time for 3 counts of uttering forged documents and obtaining money by false pretense. The judge ordered a social inquiry report and asked that the probation office ascertain whether there was any sorts of rehabilitation programs in place at the prisons. So this judge in court, who was sending persons to prison to reform and serve their sentence, she asked the probation officer to ascertain whether there was any sort of rehabilitation programs in place at the prisons. Boy, may I tell you. The allegation in that case was that between October 5 and September 29, 2002, Horace, he issued bank checks to 7 complainants, totaling almost 400,000 Jamaican dollars for goods and services. These included televisions, a fridge, hotel accommodation, and office equipment. The complainants, they later discovered that his account was closed, but he disappeared after receiving the items. He was again sent to prison. Now, if you look on your screen, there are some of the names that Horace would have used over the years, but this is what I want you to do. Follow me. I want you to write down the names in red, and at the end of this video, I want you to Google the names. The names are Dr. Garcia Henriquez Perez, Dr. Dean Haughton, Dr. Omar Haughton, Dr. Garcia Mendez, Dr. George Perez, Dr. Raja Perez, Dr. Odiki Mandalay, Dr. Tituba Ebelie Mogaba, Dr. Jeffery Bondah. There are some other names that he used on your screen. I want you to write down and Google Dr. Horace Chung and Carl Haughton. If you look on your screen now, I'm going to show you a list of 45 scam companies that Horace Haughton operated between 2003 and 2018. You notice that on the list, there is a company named College and University Education Foundation. I am told that many college and university students, they were scammed in that scheme. Him even used Christ's name. There was one named Prisoners for Christ Telemarketing. If you look to the right, you will see that he was charged by different police agencies for scamming persons through these so-called companies. There's another list, and you notice that companies offering jobs to Cayman are there. Keep looking. On your screen now is another list. Me not done yet. Between 2020 and 2023, Horace was in prison at the time. I'm gonna show you a list of 34 scam companies that were operated by Horace Haughton while he was in prison, and most of these companies, they were registered with the Companies Office of Jamaica. Look on your screen. If you look again, there is another list of companies. One is even named Totally Women Independence Association. And now, I'm gonna show you some IDs that Horace Haughton used to carry out his scam. Starting with that one on your screen. That is a so-called New York driver's license, and that license was created by Horace, and he was using the name Dr. Tyler Madison. More IDs coming up. Keep on looking. We are also learning that in the earlier years when Horace went to prison, he told the authorities that other prisoners were planning on killing him, and he asked to be isolated. Horace, he was isolated, and he was allowed regular visits from females. These females, they were working with Horace. In earlier years, a raid was carried out at Horace's cell at GP, and a cell phone was found. We are also told that prison authorities, they found JP stamps plus several other items. The phone was checked and it was found with a lot of evidence of scamming on it. Horace, he was charged and sentenced again, but that did not stop him. You remember a guy named McLean? Michael, he was charged and convicted for killing his girlfriend, Terry and Mohamed, and 5 children. That incident, it took place in St. Thomas on February 25, 2006. We are learning that said McLean, him dashed some hot liquid on Horace Haughton in prison. Horace, he went on to sue the state for 60 million Jamaican dollars. Now, I am not sure what is the outcome of that case. And by the way, just in case you're wondering what Horace sounds like, listen this.
It's really hard sometimes, you know. I know I have the propensity of not giving up, but sometimes I get so lonely. Only thing I have is just paperwork and work and work and work. No social life. Sometimes I think about the experience that I have, employee robbing me and have to get them locked up and stuff like that. It really frustrates me every time I'm moving forward. Sometimes there's some obstacles in the way, so it can be so confusing and draining sometimes. Right, I feel like giving up most of the time, but there's something inside of me always telling me to continue.
So that was Horace. We're told that Horace, he speaks at least 3 other languages fluently. He was also teaching some prisoners and warders Mandarin language. Now, Mandarin is the most widely spoken form of Chinese. Like I said, if you want to know lots more about Horace Haughton, just Google the names I told you to write down. If you look on your screen, there is a flyer that was created by Horace advertising jobs at the Marriott Hotel. Horace, he also scammed several persons who were seeking jobs in the Cayman Islands. If you look on your screen, that article is from the Jamaica Gleaner. It was published on Thursday, March 24, 2022. Horace Haughton was the scammer that this article was referring to. It is titled, Inmate Runs Job Racket from Prison. Subtitled, Dozens of Cayman-bound victims fleeced of cash. The article says, a Jamaican prisoner is believed to be the mastermind of a recently discovered overseas job scam in which about 30 persons from several parishes who were promised customer service jobs in the Cayman Islands were scammed of nearly $1 million. The victims had reportedly paid over $30,000 each as a security deposit for the program, while some had handed over money they had collected from persons they were instructed to recruit for the company's unemployment insurance program. According to a local police source, the prisoner placed, over time, advertisements in the media for various schemes, including jobs, car loans, houses, among other things that would appeal to low-income and unemployed individuals. Why may I tell you, Under the insurance program, registered members were required to contribute 5% of their salary monthly, and in the event of job loss, would be paid for a year or be otherwise employed. The company, which operated under the name Employees Corporation of Jamaica at 85 Hagley Park Road in Kingston, had circulated a flyer on social media seeking 30 persons to work in Cayman on work exchange. Work permits, plane tickets, and accommodation were promised. Some victims who had been preparing to leave Jamaica on Saturday had quit their jobs and had taken out loans for the trip. Some even sold their furniture. However, several victims who expected refunds after the trip was cancelled had their world turned upside down after they learned on Sunday via an advisory on Facebook from the Cayman Islands Labour Ministry that neither the ministry nor the Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman were affiliated with Employees Corporation of Jamaica. Many turned up at the fraud squad office in downtown Kingston on Monday to report the matter after the branch director, who had promised to refund the money, informed them that she was going to the station. Now, you can go and read the rest of the article on the Jamaica Gleaners website, but I am sure you get the gist. So now, I'm gonna show you an article, and if this is not the joke of the century, I want you to tell me what it is. The article says, man gets 456 years in prison for scamming. That article was posted in the Jamaica Star on July 17, 2019. Now, you remember the list of names I showed you earlier? The two names that will be referred to in this article is on that list. In other words, this article is referring to the same scammer, Horace Haughton. The article says, Garcia Perez, also called Tituba Mogaba, who pleaded guilty to 114 counts of obtaining money by means of false pretense, has been sentenced to 456 years imprisonment. The article went on. Perez, and let me remind you that this is Horace Haughton, not Garcia Perez. The article went on. Perez, who is presently serving time for similar offenses, was sentenced to 4 years for each count. You got that? The article says, Perez, who is presently serving time for similar offenses, was sentenced to 4 years for each count. He will have to serve this sentence on the completion of his present time behind bars, meaning Horace Haughton was already serving a prison sentence. Perez, Dana Marie Dennis, and Nashani Barrow appeared before the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Thursday, May 16, 2019, where Dennis and Barrow, they were freed by the court after no evidence was offered against them. 3 persons were charged in April 2018 following investigations by MOCA into the activities of Prisoners for Christ telemarketing services. This entity purported to be able to import motor vehicles upon the request of a down payment of between 85 and 100,000 Jamaican dollars until the arrival of the vehicle. Several operations at their offices resulted in the seizure of several vehicles and millions of US and Jamaican dollars. Also, based on the reports made to MOCA, More than $13 million was fleeced from unsuspecting persons. What that article did not mention was that the sentences were to run concurrently. In other words, although Horace was sentenced to 465 years in prison, he would only serve 4 years. And no, he would not be serving the full 4 years, because my understanding is that Horace, he would only serve 3/4 of the 4 years. In other words, Horace, he served 3 years. Horace was released from prison in August of this year, and he continued. We are told that on Saturday, Horace, he was seen at the fraud squad at the Central Police Station. We are told that Horace, he is now in police custody. Stand by. Lots more to come. Blessed love, everybody.
From the hills to the town, we bring the link. Straight facts, no mix up, no gimmick, no wing. You tune in now, get the real insight. Cause Papa News Link lights in
Papa News Link, yeah, we tell it how it is. Jamaican vice, truth in the biz. Click it, share it, every little click count. News with the vibes, and that we announce.
Up, no gimmick, no way. You tune in now, get the real insight. Cause Papa News Link lighting up the
Papa News Link, yeah, we tell it how it is. Jamaican voice, truth in the biz. Click it, share it, every little click on. News with the vibes, and that we are on. Papa News Link, yeah, we tell it how it is. Jamaican voice, truth in the biz. Click it, share it, every little click on. News with the vibes, and that we are on.
It's not me deal, she a command out. Them a meet it on the youth, them catch a fire, me feel rated. Inna the race, the prop and no fates. Why we bleak with the cabin on me cross silence. From the hills to the town, we bring the link. Straight facts, no mix up, no gimmick, no wing. You tune in now, get the real insight.